Hello, coaches! Welcome back to another episode of Coach Better Spotlight. Today we're chatting with Cindy Tisdall-McPhee, Head of Counseling at UWC Singapore. This was a powerful conversation highlighting the importance of self-care in a coaching role. Cindy reminds us that taking care of ourselves allows us, as coaches, to be better engaged and present at work. And when you're present, it's easier for staff to approach you. This Spotlight episode highlights the essential elements for coaching success, but make sure to catch the full podcast to hear even more specific and authentic opportunities for coaches to work with and support school counselors at all levels of the school. If you enjoy any part of this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more conversations like this, please subscribe to our channel and click the notifications bell to find out every time we release a new episode. Remember, you can also listen to the full Coach Better episode wherever you get your podcasts. We are passionate about the impact coaching can have on student learning, school culture, and teacher professional growth, and we want to help you coach better. We've got some great opportunities for more learning after today's conversation, so stick around all the way to the end. Welcome back to another episode of Coach Better. Today we're chatting with Cindy Tisdall-McPhee from UWC in Singapore. Cindy, can you tell us a little bit about your education background, please?
Hi, Kim. Thanks. Yes, I started my career in education, actually. I was a teacher. So I started teaching in primary school, and then I moved into middle school. And I actually only taught for a few years. I decided I really wanted to get into counseling. I did my master's in curriculum, and then I did my master's in counseling. And I've been working in counseling ever since. I'm head of counseling here, so I specialize in middle school, but I work from K1 up to grade 12 as needed.
So I think you've already touched on this a little bit, but from your perspective, both as a counselor and in working in a successful coaching environment, what are those really essential elements that are in your school culture that sets up your coaches and your teachers and your students for success to really leverage the power of the coaching structure?
Yeah. I think clarity of role. I think that that's really important. I think that sometimes, I do see it here sometimes when new teachers come in and maybe they haven't had experience of working with the DLC before. And I think so if there's clarity of role, if there's more time allotted in department meetings for DLCs to talk about their role and to talk about how they can work with different departments and what that might look like, what their work is with students, I think that that would be really important, and I think that that helps get everyone on board. I think being calm and balanced is really important. Sometimes the workplace can be a bit frantic, and I think if it seems like that person is really overloaded, it's hard to approach them. So I think as best as possible, self-care for coaches, self-care for everybody, but if you're taking care of yourself, you're better able to be engaged at work, you're better able to be present, and when you're present, then it's easier for the staff to approach you. Visibility, I think, is an important factor. I did mention approachability, but of course, not just that calm, but that sense of humor, that openness, that being human is really important. I think sometimes there's people might be apprehensive to share what they don't know for fear of being judged. And I think we're quite fortunate to work in an environment where I don't think people feel that. We really work on that as a culture. But I think still we're human. And as human beings, we're vulnerable. So I think having the DLCs be accepting of every question, however big or small. And I do definitely see that. But for coaches, those are my kind of top tips.
That was like a masterclass in, a minute and a half of what is so critical for coaching. I think I really appreciated that section on self-care. That hit me when you were talking about it, because it's definitely something I think we don't think about, because we're like a counselor, we're always so focused on someone else's goals. And it's so hard to stop and recognize that when you're not, taking care of yourself and making sure that you are present, that it comes off. People feel that around you, and that does make you harder to approach. And that is very poignant for me right now.
I think the point that resonated with me is that idea of when you, as a coach, are running around frantically, it kind of already shuts people off to coming and approaching you. A coach's role is really difficult in that you are doing so many things, so many times, so many plates are spinning or balls are in the air, whatever metaphor you want to use. But if that is the outward projection, then people are going to go, oh, that's super busy. I don't want to bother him. I'm like, no, that's my job. Bother me. That's my job. Yeah. But they're kind of thinking in there, maybe they're looking for a reason not to approach me, or maybe they think they're doing me a favor, but really I want them to approach me. But if I'm going, it's so busy, there's so much going on, then they're not going to, obviously. Now thinking of that, what's the duck, the duck symbol, right? Where you just kind of calm on top of the water, but your feet are going like maybe that's got to be the universal symbol especially for the tech coaches. You have to be the duck floating on the pond, rising and falling and going like frantic underneath, but nobody sees that. You're just kind of moving around. If you've enjoyed any part of this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more great conversations about coaching with inspiring educators from around the world, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notifications bell to find out every time we release a new episode. To hear the full-length conversation, subscribe to the Coach Better podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
And if you're looking for even more resources to help you coach better, head over to edurolearning.com/coachbetter to explore over 20 online courses designed by coaches for coaches. Catch us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Eduro Learning to connect with us. See you next week on Coach Better Spotlight.